That's bullshit.
Excuse me?
You're not doing her any good by taking her out of rehab.
But she said it was time for her to go.
Oh, wow. When was the last time an addict lied?
Oh my god, that's so true. They totally lie. My friend Rachel is fully addicted to Blueberry Red Bull, and she always tells me that she hasn't had one, but she tells me, like, with a blue tongue.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Boys Watching Girls. We're just two boys watching HBO's Girls. We are your hosts. I'm Joe Welke.
I'm Vance.
And we're gonna do this. This is the first time we're doing this because we were idiots and we forgot to do this. I don't know if we've ever done it. We're begging you to rate and review our podcast.
Hey, we respect our audience so much. We didn't want to needle them. We wanted them to fall in love with the show.
You know, it's crazy because like we see how many people are listening to it. We actually have quite a few people listening, and so if you're listening to this, if you're enjoying the show, please rate and review, subscribe, all that stuff. It'll help the podcast get featured more. Maybe more people start listening, then we can start a cult of people that love Boys Watching Girls. That's the ultimate goal with any podcast, is to start a cult eventually.
That's the dirty little secret of podcasts that people don't want to tell,
Yeah.
That's why we're doing it. We're not doing it.
So, yeah, guys, if you're listening, if you're enjoying it, please give 5-star review. If you hate listening to this podcast, why are you still listening? We're into season 3. But if you hate it, you can keep that to yourself. You don't need to rate and review it. Also, if you want, follow us on social media. Just look up Joe Welke. I'm all over the place. Look up Vance's stuff. I don't know if he wants to plug his stuff, but whatever.
Yeah, it's in the show notes. They can find me.
Check the show notes.
They can find me if they want to find me.
Email us, BoysWatchingGirlsPodcast@gmail.com. We got all the stuff. We just haven't told anyone about it. Yeah, God. But after all that, we're going to get into our episode today. Today is Season 3, Episode 2, overall Episode 22. This episode is titled Truth or Dare, directed by Lena Dunham, written by Jenny Connor. The original air date, this was on the same day as the last episode, January 12th, 2014. They must have done a back-to-back thing. Viewers, little dip, 881,000 people, 0.881 million. So they have dipped below the million viewers threshold once again. Back to normalcy.
And you're saying this was on the same day? This aired on the same day, maybe?
Yeah, same day as the last episode, females only. January 12th.
And then it was a dip, so someone watched that one and was like, nah, I don't care about the road trip.
Yeah, exactly.
All right.
It was a pretty seamless transition into the road trip. Because the last episode ended with them going to bed, and this episode opens with Hannah waking Adam up to go on the road trip to get Jessa, who is... getting out of rehab. So I feel like there isn't this is very much a linear story. There's not a lot of character separation, I feel like, except for, there's Jessa's story, and then there's Hannah, Adam, and Shoshanna's story, and then a tiny bit of Marnie in there.
Yeah.
So I feel like we might have to go chronological on this one, or...
I feel like we can just tackle Marnie, get her out of the way. It doesn't really tie into anything.
Yeah. Marnie's got a new apartment. That's basically it.
Yeah, Marnie's got a new apartment. Her mom's helping her move in. She gets a phone call from Hannah when they're on this road trip, because they're all going to... Shoshanna, Hannah, and Adam are on a road trip to go pick up Jessa from rehab. And Hannah starts to lie to say that she's going on a out-of-town romantic getaway with Adam. And then immediately just confesses the truth.
Yeah. As soon as she said that, Marnie was like, "Oh, me and Charlie used to do those things." And Marnie's mom was like, "Don't say his name; it gives him power, like he's a evil spirit or some shit."
Yeah, I was just like, I was like, Jesus, everything have to be about Charlie for you, Marnie.
I know.
And then and then she's like, starts to get mad about Hannah starting to lie to her, which is, I thought that's where their relationship was.
Yeah.
You know? And so once that happens, she's like, oh, I kind of just feel left out or whatever.
Yeah, she's like, oh, everybody's going. I just wish that I would have known. And then Hannah's basically like, well, would you have wanted to come? And she's like, no.
I just wish nobody would have gone.
Yeah.
Like, she's like if she was in the Bible, that Solomon story where the King Solomon, the two women are fighting over a baby, and he's like, I'm gonna cut the baby in half. And it's like, she would have been the one being like, do it. Cut the baby in half.
She'd have been like,
no one
ahead,
gets the baby. If I don't get the baby, no one gets it.
And Charlie is her baby.
Oh man.
So yeah, that's a wrap for Marnie.
I gotta say, this is a big Shoshanna episode.
Yeah, and I loved it. I really enjoyed this episode too.
This episode's good. This is a really good episode.
It's not as good as the last one, in my opinion. I loved the last one, but this one was a lot more entertaining. Than some of the more recent ones that we watched.
Oh, I had so I was going through getting the sound bites for the intro of the show for the last episode, and they definitely have a running theme of all the girls mentioning that they're doing all right. Like they figured out their issues. Like they think that they solved their problem, but obviously they haven't, which was like a really good through line of that episode, which we didn't bring up because we kind of don't retroactively go through the episodes and see it. So like just going through for sound bites, I was like, oh yeah, they keep saying this. Oh yeah, I figured it out, but they didn't.
Yeah, if they figured it out, the show'd be over and it wouldn't be entertaining to watch anymore.
Yeah.
Just like normal people walking around living pretty decent lives. Who gives a fuck about that, you know?
I'd give it a few episodes if that happens. just the most boring reality show ever. Just
mentally healthy, stable people.
Yeah. Oh,
tonight
so
on
up.
ABC.
I woke up, ate some food, took a shower.
Had this really good like chicken recipe going on.
Yeah.
You know, I cooked it in my slow cooker for 6 hours.
I did stub my toe, but other than that, it was a pretty good day. Went to sleep early.
Got a good night's rest. I had to, I went on a hike this morning. It's important to get vitamin D and get out and do exercise. Just like, god damn.
Man, we should make that podcast. We just...
Yeah. It's called This American Life, but it's boring.
Burned. All right, let's get back into the show.
All right. So, like I said, opens up with Hannah waking up Adam to get Jessa, and she's like, she made him coffee, and she's waking him up. He falls off the bed, and then she's like, "Are you all right?" And then he's like, "Yeah, Adam seems skeptical about the whole thing.
Well, Adam does not like... Well, yeah, he's skeptical because he doesn't think they should be taking her out of rehab.
Yeah. Like he doesn't think that she should be getting out of rehab.
Yeah.
Whatsoever.
Which happens in the next scene, because they hard cut from him falling out of the bed to him driving the car. Shoshanna's in the back seat.
Laugh out loud. This
and Hannah's
was
in the
so perfect.
Seat, and they're just singing along. And
they're singing the Maroon 5 One More Night, which is a fucking banger. Maroon 5 rules.
I think you've brought them up before.
Yeah, we watched the Super Bowl together, and Maroon 5 was the halftime act, and I was like, dude, Maroon 5 fucking rules. And you were like, okay, whatever, Joe.
Yeah, you were just so adamant about it. Like, I'm indifferent.
They're great. 5. They're fantastic. Adam Levine is a hunk. Bad tattoos, though. But yeah, Maroon 5, One More Night's playing. Hannah and Shoshanna are fucking going crazy. Adam is stone-faced for a good, 30 seconds. And then he just smashes the radio or CD player or whatever is on. He just hits it with his fist several times until the music stops.
Yeah.
Unlike me, Adam is not a fan of Maroon 5, it seems like. I wonder what kind of music Adam would be a fan of. probably like droning folk or some shit.
Yeah.
You know,
I
just
don't know.
really depressing.
Well, he
artsy
did.
bullshit.
We do see him playing that song when he's sad about the breakup that he wrote.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, when he sent the email to Hannah or whatever.
Yeah. Back when Ryan Reynolds was still in it, right? Or
Ryan Reynolds.
right? What was it? What's the actor? Was Elijah's actor? The actor?
Oh,
Elijah.
Andrew Rannells.
Andrew Reynolds. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
smashes the thing.
and then that's when he starts talking about getting her from rehab and not.
Yeah, because Adam doesn't think that it's a good idea for them to be getting her from rehab. And then Hannah's just like, what? Why? She said that, it's time to pick her up. She said that, like, we got to go get her. And then Adam goes, oh, yeah, because addicts never lie about things.
And then Shoshanna goes on about her friend that's addicted to blueberry Red Bull.
Yeah.
And she's always saying she hasn't had any, but her tongue's blue.
Yeah, dude. Dude, the interactions between Shoshanna and Adam in this episode are priceless.
Oh, yeah. Do we want to keep going with this, or do we want to should we do Jessa at the end and like do all of her story until they pick her up and just go through this road trip?
Yeah, let's do that. I don't know if you noticed this, but there's some pretty heavy continuity errors in this episode regarding Adam's mustache. Adam's mustache is like shaved. He has like an anti-Hitler, because right where Hitler would have his mustache, at certain parts, Adam's mustache is shaved right there.
Yeah.
And then other times it's not. And it bugged the shit out of me.
Yeah. I might have missed that when I was taking down some notes.
But, it's bad. But anyway, Adam thinks that Hannah's being duped and kind of foolish for going to get Jessa. Yeah. And he calls her out on it. And yeah. And
Shoshanna has so many amazing lines in this. Like her character's interesting, but like in the car she mentions that she somehow, I forget why she brings this up, but she calls out Hannah for going through her like insane breakdown and cutting her hair like a little boy on a cookie box.
Yeah. She's like, Adam was there for you.
Like, she is,
dude, Shoshanna fucking killed it this episode.
She is throwing zingers at people. Like, some are just like a little hurtful though. Like
all throughout the episode, dude.
Yeah.
She's like, I feel like she's the person that says things and doesn't realize how mean the things she's saying are or is.
Yeah, I mean, she says like the meanest thing to Hannah and the meanest thing to Adam.
Yeah.
Through a Shoshanna way that's like not biting or stabbing like Jessa would say it, where it's like, ooh, that hit you hard. Like this one, it's just like, wow, she says it but doesn't realize the sting that it would have.
Yeah, it's shocking. Like you wouldn't be mad, but you'd just be like, I can't believe you just said that. Yeah,
it's one of those like young naive things to say. Yeah. Like, it's hard, but we'll get to it.
So along the drive, Adam is talking about how like he doesn't understand female relationships, or Hannah says that he doesn't understand female friendship, and he's like, you're right, I don't, because it seems like it's a vortex of lies and pettiness and jealousy, and I don't want to understand it. Then Hannah basically calls him out as like a men's rights activist. She's like, you're sounding like a guy that says that women should never be president because of their periods and it would affect their judgment. And then fucking Shoshanna's in the back and she goes, yeah, actually it would. Like a period would affect their judgment and women should not be president. And I was like, Jesus, what is the characterizations of these people?
I'm like, Shoshanna's not a good person.
Yeah.
That is what this episode defines. Like, no, she's not.
Yeah, we already knew that she wasn't like the best person, but after some of these quotables from this episode, it's like, wow, what a fucking...
They made her catch up with all the other girls like really quick. They were like, how can we get her on the same level? She'll just rapid fire out these
just rude ass remarks.
Yeah.
Insanely rude, man.
Yeah, I can't wait to get the. Yeah, so many. I had to start writing those down. It was just amazing.
Yeah,
because I think after this they end up going to the diner.
Yeah,
which is.
Yeah.
This is a Shoshanna episode. That's really all it is.
Yeah, this is kind of what we've been asking for.
It's what we've been asking for, what we've been afraid of.
Yeah. So we're at the diner with them. They end up getting stopping along the way to get something to eat. And Shoshanna asks Adam what his favorite utensil is, which is the most Shoshanna fucking question ever.
Yeah.
And he's like, I don't know. I never really thought about it. And she's like, what? That's like the craziest thing ever.
Yeah.
You don't have a favorite? That's insane. And he goes, I don't know. I guess a fork. And she goes, well, why would you ever choose a fork? Like,
why would you want prong stabbing your tongue when you can have food delivered to your mouth on a pillowy cloud?
Yeah. Like, what utensil is that?
And his reaction to that is just silence, and then leans forward, cocks his head, and says, "What did you just say?"
Yeah.
And then Hannah comes back. But it's the greatest moment of him trying to figure out what the fuck she's talking about.
Yeah, dude, because she's nonsense. Like, I don't know what utensil. If she's talking about a spoon, I wouldn't describe a spoon as like a pillowy soft. It's also steel. It's made of the same shit as a fucking pillow.
Well, she didn't say a spoon or anything. She's just making some. I have no idea what she's talking about. But I would love to see any deleted scenes of this exchange, any alternative lines. I could watch her and him for hours.
Yeah.
It's
They should have gone to Staten Island together with the dog. I would have loved, dude. They need a road
trip. Well, they kind of go on their little road trip at the end of this thing.
Yeah. Yeah, this was Adam interacting with Shoshanna, which is all we've been wanting, and it fucking paid off in dividends.
Oh my god, yeah.
Their relationship is so fucking funny.
Yeah.
Because she's so hyper and amped, and he's just like, oh, it's so good, man.
The relationship I'm not looking forward to is the Adam and Jessa relationship.
Oh, yeah. No.
Just when they start interacting, it's going to be too much for me.
Hopefully Adam will just call her out on her bullshit. But then she'll call him out on her.
Yeah, she'll just get mopey. She'll just get mopey faced and then call him out, and then yeah. Well, I guess we'll get to that whenever that shows up.
So they're at the diner. They're discussing what to eat. Shoshanna's like, I'm not going to get anything because they don't have calorie counts on here, which is illegal. Adam's getting biscuits and gravy and something else, I forget. And then Hannah's like, I want pancakes and a milkshake.
Well, Hannah goes, I'm not hungry, so I'll just get pancakes and a turkey bacon if they had that.
Yeah.
I just love her. I'm not hungry. I'm just going to get pancakes.
Yeah, the most disgusting. That combination is just dessert city. Pancakes and a milkshake.
Yeah.
Jesus.
I love the pancake breakfast at a diner. I'm a fan of that with the eggs and sausage.
I always get waffle.
I wouldn't throw in a milkshake on top of that. But dude, I'm a pancake over waffle guy. I'm a pancake over waffle guy. Yep.
How dare you?
I dared.
That's insane. No. Waffles all day, every day. Email us, BoysWatchingGirlsPodcast. What side of this debate are you on? Write it in the review. Write it in your 5-star review, whether you're team pancake or team waffle. Joe Welke over here is team waffle.
We might put a poll up on the Facebook page.
It's got the syrup holders for the syrup. It doesn't spread everywhere, and it's not, dude. I don't know. Pancakes are just too fluffy, and
I've made you pancakes multiple times.
You did, and they were good.
We've done pancakes for football. I never made waffles. Waffles, you gotta get a waffle maker. I mean, it's
yeah, that's why they're a delicacy. Waffles are a delicacy.
Yeah, so they're all made with the same batter too. It's just a shape change.
That's why it's special, Vance. When you get anybody can make fucking pancakes at their house. You can't, and not anybody can make waffles at their house. You have to have a waffle iron.
You got to be rich with a waffle iron.
Yeah, dude. Yes. I watched this fucking...
Whatever, we're going to make crepes. I'm going to make crepes.
Whoa, that's real rich people shit.
It's literally flour and water.
Yeah. I was watching this podcast. They were talking about this
Wait, you were watching a live stream of a podcast?
Yeah. And they were talking about this one guy who's like a pickup artist, and they were like basically making fun of him. And he was talking about how he only drinks sparkling water because tap water is poor people shit. And he's like, why is tap water poor people shit? And he goes, because anybody can fucking get that. It comes out of the sink. Everybody has that type of water. But it's fucking, you gotta pay for sparkling water. And that's why I only drink it. And this is like the waffles pancake debate to me.
Was he joking, or was it like a...
No, he's serious. And he's like angry about it.
Wow. Okay.
And he says some very, very rude things about women. And it's ridiculous. Like, because you're watching it and you're like, I can't believe that people like this exist in the world, because it's so just rude and misogynist. And you watch it with your mouth agape because the guy is just so ridiculous.
It's kind of like us watching girls at times.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess so, man.
Which we should probably talk about now.
Yeah. But get back to email in, put a poll on Facebook. Are you pancakes or waffles? Anywho.
What a tangent. What a long tangent.
Yeah.
Anyway, Shoshanna doesn't eat anything. She buys a rocking chair.
Shoshanna buys a rocking chair.
It was only $14 though.
That's a pretty good deal.
All
like if you go to
rocking
Cracker Barrel, dude, those my parents bought those rocking chairs from Cracker Barrel. Those are expensive. They're not cheap. So $14.
I don't know how she got a $14.
Because this wasn't Cracker Barrel. You know, this is some bumfuck diner.
Wait. So the rocking chair was in the diner that she bought it from. I didn't know you could buy chairs from restaurants. I did not know you could buy chairs from restaurants.
I feel like it was like a Cracker Barrel thing where they have them outside and you can sit on them while you're waiting. And if you like it enough, you can buy it afterwards.
I can't even say I've ever been to a Cracker Barrel. To be
it's
honest.
I went with a Tiff Myers, my old roommate, fellow
We're
comedian.
never going to talk about this show.
Yeah. I took a Tiff, who is a black guy, to his first Cracker Barrel when we were driving across the country, because I was like, this is like a road trip staple. You got to go to a Cracker Barrel. And he was like, I've never been to a Cracker Barrel. I never felt like it's a place that I should go because it's got cracker in the name. And I was like, touche, good point. But, dude, you should check it. Dude, Cracker Barrel's awesome. They serve, you know Stewart soda?
Yeah.
I love Stewart soda, and they serve Stewart soda in frosted mugs.
Mm-hmm.
And it just, I don't know why, but it makes everything so much better. And the food's pretty good and it's cheap. And you can buy rocking chairs there. That's what I think.
That is the worst plug I've ever heard for a place. They have frosted glasses and soda. The food's okay, and you can buy chairs.
Well, I'm not saying it's the best restaurant in the entire world, but it's a fun place to go. And they have games on the table that you can play. Whatever, Vance, you fucking highfalutin motherfucker. Never going to Cracker Barrel.
You know I'm Vance Love Nothing. I don't love that.
Yeah, you are Vance Love Nothing. Wow, we're doing way too many inside jokes right now.
Dude, this is terrible podcasting.
Yeah, I'm so sorry to everybody listening. But please give a 5-star review.
Oh my God. All right, we're going to focus here and get on track with this show.
I drank a Monster Energy before this, so it's going to be hard. It's going to be hard for me to stay on track, dude. My ADD is going fucking crazy.
All right, what happens next?
This is going to be a 2-hour-long podcast. This is so bad. People are going to be like, wow, they really had some in-depth insight about this episode. It's like, no, we're just talking about Cracker Barrel for 15 minutes.
Yeah. All right, so they're back in a hotel room.
Yeah, they go to a hotel.
Shoshanna's watching TV, and she's got the little extra bed that you get in a hotel room that you put at the bottom of the bed. So like they're all sharing one room.
Yeah.
And at some point she decides, hey, let's play Truth or Dare.
Well, she's watching. Hold on. She's watching TV like an inch away from the TV and laughing like a fucking moron. And Adam's like, "Hey, can you turn the TV off?" And she's just like, not she doesn't hear him. And he's like, could you please turn the TV off? I want to go to sleep. And she's like, oh, okay, I watched this one like a million times anyway. So she shuts it off. And then Adam is like, Hannah's typing on her computer. And he's like, can we turn off the computer? And Hannah's like, no, I need to write. I'm like behind schedule. I need to make sure I'm writing 5 pages. And he's like, well, you're always writing and it sucks. Oh, and before this, she was talking about how, about how she wants to use this road trip basically for her writing. And I was like, this is the most selfish, self-involved. You're picking your friend up from rehab and she's complaining about how boring the road trip is because it's not benefiting her.
I think that might be a little later, but that's still an overall point that she kind of makes. And the thing about that is, it's when you're a writer like that, you need to take life experiences and put them into your work or whatever. But you don't go on the trip specifically for that reason. You know, like you go on a trip and then you take what you get out of it. Like you can't search for that inspiration.
It's kind of like how they say, like, if you're looking for love, you'll never find it. Like, if you're looking for inspiration like this, it's tough. You can't go in like, oh, I'm going to go and I'm going to have so much to write about. Yeah,
like just go, have the trip, and then be like, okay, this is what this is all about.
Yeah, because then you're forcing it, and it's just like not good. And it's not good.
You're not going to find it if you're looking for it.
So they shut off the TV, they shut off the computer, and then Shoshanna gets the brilliant idea to play Truth or Dare. She goes, you want to play Truth or Dare? And then Adam goes, what's Truth or Dare? Which was fantastic.
Classic.
And Shoshanna's like, you've never played Truth or Dare? How have you never? You don't know how to play Truth or Dare? This is like the dumbest thing. And then Adam's like, I'm aware that there's a game called Truth or Dare. I just don't know how to play it.
Yeah.
And then they explain the rules to him. And then he's like, all right, fine. Well, we can play. And then Shoshanna's like, all right, I'll ask you first, Adam. I dare... No, wait. Okay, I dare you to... No, wait. Okay, I dare you to kiss Hannah. And Hannah's like, well, that's kind of like we're boyfriend and girlfriend. Like, we kiss all the time. And then Adam's just like, okay, whatever. Mwah, and like gives her like this weird dumb kiss.
Yeah.
And then...
Hannah's like, oh, Adam, you watch us play. As if Adam was the one that was ruining the game.
Exactly. It wasn't.
Yeah, and then so then she's like, Hannah goes, Shoshanna, Truth or Dare, and Shoshanna goes, Truth. And then Hannah starts to ask, so what was the moment that...
I think she starts again. She goes, what was the most upsetting? Yeah. And then Shoshanna goes, okay, but you can't ask something like really crazy though.
yeah. And then Adam does my favorite thing. He's like, all right, night.
Bedtime. And shuts the light out. And then Shoshanna's like, you mean like bed, like go to bed now? And he's like, yup.
Yep, bedtime.
Bedtime.
And I kind of loved it because I was like, I don't want to watch. I was interested to see how weird this Truth or Dare game was going to go, but also cringing the whole time.
Yeah.
Knowing it could go bad. And then they just like, Adam just shut it down.
Yeah. Fantastic Adam moment. And then, so they're trying to go to bed. And then Shoshanna's laying at the end in her separate bed, which is like
at the foot of the bed.
A foot away from where Hannah and Adam are laying. And Adam's like, so can we like fuck? Because I can't go to sleep without coming. And then they're like being like, well, you know that Shoshanna's here too. Like, we can't really do it. And he's like, but I gotta come in order to go to sleep. And Shoshanna's just like wincing.
Yeah.
Because she's like hearing all this awkward conversation. She's like, all right, I'm gonna leave. You guys can do whatever you need to do. I'm gonna leave for a bit and let me know when the cum parade is over.
Is that what she says?
Yeah. So she leaves. And then Adam's like, why are you being so grumpy? And Hannah's like, I'm not being grumpy. He's like, no, you are. And then they go back and forth about, like, are you going to stop being so grumpy? And she's like, yeah. Stupid.
Yeah. And then I think we cut to Jessa, but then we see Hannah goes out to talk to
she comes to retrieve Shoshanna because they were finished fucking.
Yeah. And she says, oh, you can come back in. Adam just has to clean up.
Yeah, he has to towel off.
Towel off, yeah.
So gross.
Yeah. What did you think, Shoshanna, when you went on this road trip?
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know if Shoshanna knew that much about Adam to know like this was what she was in for.
Yeah.
But now she definitely does.
And this is the scene where we get a rapid fire of Shoshanna lines. I mean, she is just machine gunning out zingers.
Yeah. She's just so unaware of the world around her.
Yeah.
Because we get to talking about, like, Hannah's talking about Jessa and how sad it is that she's getting rehab, and she's thinking about what Adam said and being like, maybe it isn't a good thing for us to come get her.
Yeah.
And Shoshanna's like, what are you talking about? It's a great thing. And then Hannah's like, well, what about all the drugs and stuff?
Yeah.
And she's like...
Yeah, you go ahead.
Well, Shoshanna's like, no, she just does that for fun. She's like, well, what about all the drinking? She's like, she's got a hold of it. It's like, she just went through a divorce 7 months ago.
Yeah.
And that's the first time we really get a scope of the time that was going on here.
Yeah.
And I was like, it's been 7 months? Like, I don't know how that timeline adds up.
Well, I don't know how she's been in rehab for months now.
Yeah.
And I don't know how much time passed before they went to visit the dad.
Yeah, I don't know how much time has passed, but when she said 7 months, 7 months ago she got divorced.
Yeah.
I was like, that was in the middle of season 2. So has this been really that long? Like, I have no idea how much.
Well, we don't know how
place.
long Hannah's been dealing with the OCD.
Yeah.
When that propped up, we don't know how. We don't know exact timeline of how long Marnie and Charlie were together before.
Yeah.
Because when we come back, when we start this season, Ray's working at the new coffee shop, so obviously some time has passed, and he's living at Adam's old place.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's some months have passed between that right there easily.
Yeah, time's just moving, and I don't know where
That's
it's going
life, man.
in this show.
That's
yeah,
life.
dude, one day you're graduating high school, next day you wake up and you're 50.
Yeah. As Adam would like to say, time is rubber band.
Yeah, there you go.
There's some lines. There's some
Hannah's
lines
like,
here.
she has a bunch of affairs, and Shoshanna is just basically like, no, she doesn't have any problems. Like, she's beautiful, she's hot, she's sexy, and like guys take care of her and pay for things for her, and like she doesn't ever have to work a job ever. So like, I don't know why she's like being so dramatic about this. Like, I don't know.
It's like the most naive view of the world. Like, Jessa's pretty and guys like her, so she has nothing to worry about. That's literally what she says. It's like,
it's so like, do you not understand anything?
Yeah.
It's so shockingly like, how stupid are you?
Well, it's in a weird way super insensitive, especially going from Shoshanna in the first season, who was really worried about Jessa when she disappeared for a few days and didn't show up. Like when she got married, she was like, where is she? Now she's been gone for 7 months, and she's like, whatever. Because before when Marnie moved in with her, she was like, stay here forever. You don't ever have to leave, you know? And now she's just like, it's Jessa. She's fine.
Yeah, she also said that she's easy.
Yeah, I was like, no, you didn't like living with her before.
Yeah, man. And then, so Hannah basically tells a story after all this to be like, no, Jessa's like really a sad person. Like, she has this veneer of a happy, like, I don't give a fuck person, but she's got some deep sadness. And then she tells a story about how when they were in college, she was always, the one, dancing on the quad and just a free spirit. But then she got sick one time, and she had to stay in her room or something, and everybody was visiting her. And everybody had to leave because it was finals week. So they were like, all right, Jessa, we're going to head out. And Jessa was like begging them all to stay because she didn't want to be alone. And then Hannah left. And right as she was walking out the door, she saw that Jessa was crying. And this is a major fucking zinger from Shoshanna.
I know. I had to write it down. I was like, this is insane.
Well, then you say it then, because So Hannah's like, yeah, and I walked out the door, and the last thing I saw was just Jessa in tears, crying.
And Shoshanna says, you were probably remembering it wrong. It was probably you crying.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
like wow.
Yeah.
This would make sense if she hated Hannah and loved Jessa and will not take any Jessa slander. But this was just like... And I guess if you dive deeper into this, Shoshanna wants to believe that being pretty and having guys like you is enough.
Yeah.
You know, like that's what she wants to believe. So anything that tells her that, oh, Jessa can have this and still be unhappy, like ruins the facade of her Sex in the City lifestyle, you know? Mm-hmm. So that's why I could sense her, if that was her reasoning for her to say this line and be that defensive. Otherwise, it's just so...
It's savage.
Yeah.
It's such a rude thing to say.
And Hannah just takes it like...
Yeah. Hannah, it's like one of those shocking things like I was talking about earlier. Like, you can't really say anything back because you're just like, so... Did that person really say that?
Yeah. And then they go on to talk about Shoshanna. And like, because that's not even where it ends with the savagery.
No,
it gets worse.
It's not. Like that would have been a great place to cut that scene and just been like, okay, cool. But then they keep going. And
it gets so worse.
Like Hannah is like Sideshow Bob on The Simpsons, just walking on those rakes that slam her in the face.
Yeah. Like, we're finding out that this truth, like, it's interesting that the truth to dare, Shoshanna didn't want anything too serious to be said. And she just heard. I mean, Adam might have hit her or something if she would have dug deeper. Because she's savage on Adam later and he takes it with stride.
Yeah.
Like, so they start to talk about Shoshanna graduating this year.
Yeah. Hannah,
which I'm
like,
super
are you nervous?
interested.
Are you nervous about graduating?
I'm super interested in seeing her not in school to see what she's been studying, like her in the world, her dealing with what the girls have been dealing with.
You know what? She's probably going to get hired by Ray at Grumpy's at some point.
Everybody works at Grumpy's.
Ray employs this whole series cast.
I know.
The whole ensemble.
So yeah, they start talking about that if she's nervous about graduating, and well, I forget exactly what she says, but she's not really nervous. She's like excited about getting out and starting her life. And Hannah's like, well, college is the best time because basically you just have to be yourself. Like you don't have to do anything.
Your job
else.
is being yourself.
Yeah.
It's like your job is just like after college, like it's all downhill.
Yeah.
And fucking.
And she's like, and Hannah's like, yeah, I apply to grad school every year just because, you know. And
yeah.
And she said, and then Shoshanna says, grad school, I only hear that about grad school for people who don't make any money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Savagery, dude.
Savage. Like, you know what Hannah does and where she worked and what her life has been like. You just
drop the bomb on her.
Just cold, too. Like, the way she says it, too, is just like, well, people in grad school, they just don't have any money.
I feel like it was a lot like, it wasn't about grad school. It was more like college is the best years of your life.
Yeah, people.
That's what I feel like she was.
Yeah,
I feel like that's what she was responding to more than the grad school thing about being like, oh, college is the best years of your life. Oh, the only people that say that are people that make no money.
Yeah,
it's like God. Whew. Fucking brutal, dude.
Yeah. So we finally, mercifully, get out of that scene.
Yeah. Before any more fucking landmines are stepped on.
Yeah.
So then they're back to driving. Hannah's wearing I forgot to do a fashion report earlier. She's wearing, at the beginning of the episode, she's wearing like the worst grandma nightie. And now they're driving. She's wearing like fucking Elton John sunglasses, and she looks legitimately like Elton John because she's got the same bowl cut as him. Like she's just looking out the window with these stupid sunglasses on. And then the ride there, it's just her and Shoshanna bitching and complaining about how boring it is and how like, oh, no wonder fucking truck drivers do cocaine because this shit's boring as fuck.
Yeah,
and then Adam's.
They're so bored for some reason. It's like,
yeah, dude. It's like, what did you expect? You're going to get your friend from rehab. Like, this isn't like a fun vacation.
Yeah.
So Adam pulls over at the height of this complaining.
No, you were about to bring up a great Adam line about boredom.
Oh, fuck.
I wrote it down. I got it.
Okay, great.
Well, is it Shoshanna or Hannah that mentions that it's so boring? I think it's Hannah that mentions it's boring. And
yeah, because Hannah's in the back of the car with the rocking chair at this point. And she's like, I can't get comfortable. It won't let me live my truth and express myself. And this sucks. And this is so boring.
Yeah. And he's so frustrated in the front seat. And he's just, boredom is bullshit for lazy people with no imagination.
Yeah.
And it's like kind of true. You know, being bored is like a part of, it's hard to be bored now in the time that we're in, where like there's podcasts like this to waste your time with.
Yeah,
there's internet.
That's what we're doing.
You can watch any YouTube video.
You can
Instagram
learn
stories.
anything.
Yeah, like there's no chance to be bored.
Yeah,
like you have to like seek out boredom in today's world, you know.
And some people do that.
Yeah, it's good to do that and let your mind like take a break.
Yeah, give it a rest.
Yeah.
But so Adam gets frustrated at the height of this complaining and pulls over the side of the road, and Hannah is like, "What are you doing? What's going on?" And he's like, "We're going hiking."
Yeah.
And she's like, "What? You can't do that." And he's like, "Shut up. We're going hiking." He like pulls open her door from the outside. Yeah. And she's like, "But I don't want to." And he's like, "It's too bad. We're going. Look this is God's country. Look at all this majesty. You're going to get inspired by all this majesty. Let's go." And she's like, but I don't want to. And then they start hiking up. And
Shoshanna was in it. Shoshanna just went for it too, which was interesting.
She was up for the hike.
No question. She just got out and started walking.
Yeah. You know what's the best part about the show and Adam's character is they can do shit like this so that they can have an alone moment with Adam and Shoshanna. And it's like his character is such that you can write that, whereas, you know, if it was a different character, a more normal character, you could be like, why are they going on this hike for like a exposition, weird relationship building? But because he's such a weird guy and he just does a bunch of weird stuff, it's not like seen as a crutch, you know?
Yeah, this is like a good example even from this show is like him getting out, walking on this hike right now is straight to character. When Hannah gets out of the car and just runs into the cemetery, when she's back with like when she's with that guy Frank. Yeah. In that episode, you're like, why is she getting out of the car and then just running into the woods blindly? Like it's like one of the that was running in so they could have sex with the kid at a location. This is him just being like,
that
I need
felt
to get out
forced.
of this car. Yeah.
That felt forced, but this doesn't feel forced.
Yeah. Because this is
that's
what
just like,
he would do. And it is, and it, in a way, I mean, this is storytelling. It is forced to get them alone to have this moment. But it seems right with the character that he would do this.
Yeah. So speaking of right with the character, they start walking and Hannah fucking does the same thing when Adam was trying to get her to run. Yeah. She sits down on the ground and being like, nope, I'm not going. I don't want to go. And he's like, come on, kid. Yeah. You didn't even make it like anywhere yet. And she's like, you go live your truth. I'll be right here. I'm going to stay right here. You guys go do whatever. And he's like, all right. And then they leave. And she's basically like, she was like trying to call his bluff or something.
I don't know and like her and Shoshanna and him both have sticks. These big hiking sticks that they somehow found, even though they are literally like 100 feet from the car. You can still see the car. They haven't walked anywhere yet. Yeah. And Hannah just plops down on the ground and she calls it quits. And I'm like, come on.
Yeah. She didn't expect Adam and Shoshanna to like just ditch her there though. Yeah. She was like, go ahead, you guys. I'll just be here. And then they were like, okay, see ya. And then she's like, wait, Shoshanna, you want to come back and like watch YouTube videos in the car? And they're like, nope. So then we get the alone moment with Adam and Shoshanna, which is actually pretty nice. Mm-hmm. Like they talk.
It's nice until the savagery, but yeah.
Yeah. Well, I don't really remember the savagery in this one. Okay, so maybe you should talk about this.
where they're walking. I forget exactly how. Like they're just walking and hiking, and Shoshanna's kind of like complimenting Adam for being like really around for Hannah and like being like somebody that she can kind of like talk to at times. Like, and even like she's walking, he like lifts up a branch just really low so she can step under it, like being really gentlemanly. But they're talking about how useful he is with Hannah, and she goes on and says, "I'm so happy that you were there and not like a regular person, like with a regular job, or like, because we need." It's like if you had a job, responsibility, a place to be during the day, or a best friend, like you wouldn't be able to help Hannah.
Yeah,
and it's just like, wow,
it's like a compliment.
It's the most backhanded of compliments. Yeah, it's like or best friend. Like, I mean, she throws everything out. This is the second episode too where we mentioned Adam not having friends.
I know, it's kind of sad now at this point, but like that compliment was like an everlasting gobstopper, like the dead core of it, and you have to get through like 5 layers of insult to get to that compliment. Yeah,
and you're like, oh, thank you.
Yeah. But then Adam kind of like judo moves it on her, where she's like, or had a best friend, and then he goes, well, she is my best friend. Yeah. And then he just keeps walking. So it was like savagery intended, but he just like flipped it on her to be like, no, she is my best friend. Like, this is what I do, and I love her, and I care about her.
And Shoshanna being the hopeless romantic is just like, ah, like when he says that best friend line.
Yeah, well, I wrote down that she calls Adam dementedly helpful.
Yeah. Did she say that to him? Was that what
she says it to him? She's like, you're like dementedly helpful. Yeah.
Like, these are the worst compliments ever. And then we see. How did you feel when he said she's my best friend? Did you take it as like, oh, that's a good, sweet Adam line?
Well, they say that like you're supposed to marry your best friend, you know? Yeah. Like the person that you love the most is supposed to be your best friend. But, you know, no woman that I've ever dated has replaced my best friend. Maybe that's why I'm not married. Can you speak on this? You're married.
I'm married, and I have a best friend in Baltimore. And I don't like, I mean, you know, I have this thing about best friends. I think you have, like, girls will have multiple best friends, but that defeats the whole purpose of the word best.
Yeah.
So like you have to have like the one best friend, and you can have some really high friends, like high ranking friends, and then you have like acquaintances and like people you just like do podcasts with, like you.
Wow, Vance. Wow.
Shoshanna, she's got into me. The zinger was right there, and I had to take it.
Vance Tucker. Vance love nothing. Fucking burden me.
The show's rubbing off on me in the wrong way. I'm getting
unprecedented. Tweet at Vance to fucking tell him what a butthole he is.
It was just there. I had to do it. But I mean, whatever. Your spouse can be your best friend if they are, you know.
Yeah, I feel like everybody that says their spouse is their best friend gets divorced. So good on you, Vance, for not marrying your best friend. That's some like new age thinking bullshit. I feel like your wife isn't your best friend. Your wife is your wife.
Yeah, and that's a different level. That's a whole different level.
Well, that's like when they say like my mom is my best friend. It's like, no, your mom can't be your best friend.
Yeah, we talked about that on the show. It shouldn't be that way either. I mean, you can be close with your mom. You can be really friendly with your mom, but like they should still be your parent.
Yeah, at a certain point, they're like, we're responsible for you and we're looking out for you, not like a best friend does.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't think that... Long story short, I don't think you should marry your best friend.
It ruins the friendship.
Yeah, it ruins it.
But when he says that, I think he believes it, and like he's being genuine and nice, and he's not just saying it as it's not him covering for not having a best friend. I feel like he kind of believes it. So that's kind of what I wanted to get at.
Yeah, he's kind of like, you're my everything situation.
Yeah. And he's been pretty straightforward with he's been consistent with what he says about how he feels about Hannah. It's never been like wavering back and forth. It's not the Marnie Charlie situation where she's like, oh, I don't like him. Oh, I love him. No, he's spineless. Oh, but he's the best thing that ever happened to me. Like, he doesn't waffle that way.
Yeah, but there's also a little bit of dangerousness with Adam's thinking, I feel, where with the all or nothing attitude of it.
Oh, I mean, yeah.
That's how he ends up being a stalker,
Yeah,
Getting
exactly.
a restraining order. What happened to that restraining order? I just realized that. What the fuck happened to that?
Yeah.
Did that ever happen?
Did they have a real restraining? Did he have a real restraining order? Did she actually file a restraining? I don't think she filed for one.
I guess
or
not.
Maybe she might have mentioned
he's all up in her butt.
Maybe she mentioned it when he was like kind of stalkery after that arrest. I don't know. No, I don't know.
Yeah,
I can't remember.
All right, well,
whatever. They're back together.
Makes no sense. They're back together. Everybody's happy about it.
Yeah. He's interacting with the girls. That's all I wanted.
Yeah. Why are you concerned about the logistics of restraining orders, Joe? Oh, what a fool I am. So Hannah's like laying on the ground with all the leaves going up her dress, watching YouTube
her
videos.
dress is fully up. You're seeing the underwear. She's lying like 100 feet from the whatever road they're on, and just is she on her phone just looking at her phone?
She's on her phone just watching videos. Like, just go on the car. If you can't get in the car, go on the car,
or just go on the hike.
Yes,
just walk.
God damn.
You know what is funny? It's funny, like, because she's gone on this trip to try to find inspiration, right? Or complaining about it. And then Adam offers her a chance to do something that might inspire her. And she says, nah, I'm good.
Yeah.
So it's that like contradiction thing.
What a prick.
You never hear girls being called pricks.
Yeah, there's some words that are, I feel like, reserved for men and some are reserved for women. Like, you call men dicks or pricks. Yeah, but she's being a real prick right now.
But we're switching it up.
Yeah, that's what
no more
this
boundaries.
podcast is all about. Women can be pricks too. Men can be cunts.
Yeah, in London they call everyone a cunt.
Yeah, that's just like part of their vernacular.
Yeah.
That's basically a compliment. So anyway, now we arrive at the rehab center. So should we go into Jessa's story now?
Yeah, let's go into Jessa, and then when it matches up, we'll tag in. Yeah.
So the first thing we see with Jessa, she storms into the English bad boys room from the last episode. Do we get his name?
I forget his name. It's Richard E. Grant, I believe the actor is again.
His name is Jasper.
Jasper? Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So she barges into Jasper's room and being like, where the fuck were you? I thought I wasn't ever going to see you again. I was put in solitary. I didn't have food or talking to people, and they wouldn't let me do anything. But they're a bunch of dumbasses because they didn't realize that the door was unlocked, and I am smarter than them.
And they both share a laugh, and you're like, okay.
Yeah. And then they have some more bullshit conversation about like, oh, you're so young and you don't realize all this bullshit that you're doing and blah, 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 blah. I really
It was something about like you don't know what thoughts are important and which ones aren't.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's kind of that scene.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. He's talking about how he like doesn't talk to his daughter anymore, and he keeps it that way because he wants to protect her or whatever.
Yeah,
who gives a fuck?
Yeah, and she's like, oh yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah.
And he's really has this like, it's funny because they brought it up last episode that his English accent makes what he says seem more charming and more sophisticated and poignant.
Yeah.
And we realize that is true. It's just the accent that's making it that way.
Yep. Because of the next scene that we see this guy in.
Well, the next scene we see is really a short one, and she's sleeping on the floor in his room. I think she's like hiding out in his room somehow.
Yeah.
I'm surprised no one's barged in on him like they did when she was going down on that girl.
Yeah. I don't know much about rehab, but this doesn't seem to add up.
Yeah, I don't really get what's going on at this rehab place. Because it seems like he has a really nice room, too.
Yeah.
But I guess it's whatever you pay for. I don't know. But he's reading a book, The Woman in White, I think. I don't know anything about the book, but I'm sure it has some thematic.
Yeah, it has some kind of hidden meaning.
Yeah.
What's it called again? The Woman in White?
Yeah.
Let me look it up.
And it was an interesting scene because it was just him reading and then looking over and seeing her down on the floor, and it was just like, oh, this father figure and his second daughter kind of situation, you know, like someone he's giving advice to.
It's a detective mystery novel.
Oh, okay. So
yeah.
maybe, I mean, I just thought it was interesting that he was reading that.
I'm looking at like a synopsis of it, and it doesn't really seem like there's any kind of tie-in. It has multiple narrators.
Yeah. All right. Anyway, the next time we see him, he comes back from. He's always dressed up like in a nice shirt and tie, like not a tie, but like a nice shirt and pants. And when he shows up this time, he's in his pajama bottoms and like an oversized T-shirt with a giant gecko on it or something, some lizard, and he looks completely different. Yeah, and he's coming back from one of the meetings that they have, the group sessions, and he's like frazzled, and he's speaking a mile a minute, and he's smoking a cigarette.
Yeah, he's like, I can't believe I just came from group, and I just can't fucking handle this right now. It is fucking so stupid, and everybody's talking about this bullshit, and we're like, whoa, this is a really different version of this guy.
Completely different. Look
that we
attitude.
see.
Yeah.
And it's revealed because he's been sneaking in a bunch of drugs to this rehab center, and then he ran out.
Yeah. And he's running out. And he tries to say, oh my God, Jess, I'm so happy you're here. I thought you were going to leave before we had a chance to have sex.
Yeah. And Jess was like, what?
We were never going to have sex.
We were never going to have sex. He's like, what are you fucking talking about? Of course we were going to have sex. From the moment we laid eyes on each other, we knew we were going to have sex. And Jess is like, the first time we met, I was being pinned down to a chair by a woman named Frank. And he's like, yep, I know exactly. And I gave you a look of like, are we going to fuck? And you gave me that look back of, oh yeah, we're going to fuck. And then he's like, this guy unravels, dude.
This guy is like Hannah on the Sexcapade. He's like, no, we agreed to sexcapades.
Yeah. He's like, he's Thomas John with that flip of character from the first time we meet Thomas John, where it's just like, he's been cool, he's been collected, he's been like a source of good entertainment and wisdom and stuff for a while. And then like on a dime, now he's like, you're going to fuck me. We have to fuck. It's like grabbing her titty, and it's just like awful to watch.
Yeah,
like,
it's time for him to be a bad guy.
Yeah. And then Jessa like
the switch.
Pushes him off, and she's like, get the fuck off of me.
And it's one of those things that they do with Adam in the show where he'll have these moments, like a lot of this where he seems really caring. And we'll get to that later, but like he really is a caring person in a way, but he also does these awful things.
Yeah.
That it's something I think I wrote down, like, how is he the nicest person in the show, but also the scariest, you know?
Yeah. He's a frightening person. Like, you wouldn't want to be on his bad side.
No.
Or like cross him.
But like if he was just your friend and you needed advice and he was in a good mood, he'd be the one to go to.
Yeah.
Like if you had to ask anybody for advice outside of Ray, I'm knocking Ray off the board, who would you ask for advice? If you had to do the girls, we'll throw in Adam, we'll throw in Charlie.
Definitely not Charlie.
Yeah.
I feel like this is gonna shock some people. I feel like I would ask Jessa for advice.
Really?
Because she would either say something insightful, which she has been known to do throughout the show, or she'd say something so ridiculous where, you know, you get home from work or something, you're like bitching about your boss. Jessa would say something like, just start putting fucking cyanide in his coffee and kill him. And then you backstep and be like, well, it's not that big of a problem. And then you like, you know what I mean? And then you're like, well, it's not that big of a deal. Like,
so you're not picking Jessa because the advice would be good. You would just know to do the opposite of whatever she said.
Not necessarily the opposite, but like it would put into perspective how minimal your problems are when she's like, you should murder that person. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think Hannah would also be a candidate for this because I think she could give decent thought out advice that you could even if it's not 100% right, you could suss out from what she's saying and maybe find some kernel in it.
I feel like Hannah might use it in her book though. Like if you came to her with a real problem and she'd be like, yeah, my friend was like blah blah blah.
People don't read.
That's true. I don't read.
You're worried she's gonna use it in her book.
Yeah, who's gonna read her ebook? That's true.
Dude, that would not be my reasoning. That would not be my reasoning.
People legitimately get upset about tweets that I tweet where I don't name names. I just tweet like a joke about like an ex-girlfriend of mine or something, and they'll see it. And I have fucking 50 followers on Twitter. Actually, I think it's less. And people are like, how dare you tweet about me? It's like, no one is seeing this.
I've got my thoughts on your Twitter. I'm going to leave it at that. We've talked about it.
Guys, follow me on Twitter and find out if I'm a complete raging asshole or not.
Yeah, we'll let the
populace, the listenership determine.
I just want to know who those 50 people are.
Right? It's like comedian friends of mine. Like they're like, Jesus, dude. But those are like ex-girlfriends will see a joke that I post about. It's like, I don't even name your name.
We were what, like 10 episodes into this before I followed you on Twitter?
Yeah, dude. I don't really use the only reason the only reason I have Twitter is to take screenshots of tweets and post them on Instagram.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
There's so many tangents in this episode.
I know. We've been trying to keep these episodes shorter, and they're just not. It's not happening. Sorry, everybody.
We're so close to the end here too.
Yeah, I know.
We can wrap it up.
Yeah, but let's keep going. You realize our episodes of this podcast are like 5 times longer than the episode of Girls that we're talking about?
Not 5 times longer.
Dude, the episodes of Girls are like 20 minutes long.
No, they're like 30. They're 30. They're solid.
Are they
30.
really?
Yeah.
All right, well then they're like 2.5 times.
You just love the show so much that it just goes by, and you
it
just
inspires
can't wait.
us. Yeah. You know, if Hannah needed inspiration for writing, she should have watched Girls, because we have a plethora of content to talk about.
Oh man.
So anyway,
yeah,
they get to the rehab center. That's basically the end of the bad boy, Richard E. Grant Jasper.
Yeah, we find out like he just takes his last pill, and
yeah,
and Jessa has this look of like, oh, jeez.
Another guy I can't trust. Ugh.
Like you were saying, it's so weird when they make it so that Jessa's sympathetic because this guy's so crazy now.
Yeah, but I still don't feel sympathy for Jessa.
Yeah, exactly. Like I don't get why we needed this. Like nothing.
It's like I can identify that guy's a creep and an asshole and still not like Jessa.
Yeah. And like what does us finding out that he's a user asshole? Like her one friend in the place is crazy. Like, yeah, obviously, you're
in rehab.
Yeah, and
not the most stable people. You know, no judgments.
I want Catherine Hahn's character to come back. The mom. I want to.
She needs to give fucking Jessa a donking too.
Last time she did that, she got married, and that didn't work out so well.
That's true.
So. Hannah and Adam and Shoshanna arrive at the place. Shoshanna is pacing around like a mental patient.
Yeah.
In front of the like reception desk.
And she's wearing like these sweatpants and like a not flattering shirt and like a kind of roby sweater or something. So she looks like she's part of the rehab center. Yeah. Or she's like in some kind of institution. She's like walking around with her head down and she's just pacing. And the lady at the front desk is like, you can sit down. And she's like, well, can I walk? She goes, yeah, but like it's annoying. Yeah. And then she just keeps walking and pacing around.
It's framed perfectly because it's a shot of the desk and then you just see Shoshanna weaving in and out of the frame as she goes back and forth. And it's just
doing like figure eights.
Yeah. And it's just like, man, well, it just looks insane. Yeah.
Yeah. So then Jessa comes out She's ready to be picked up.
Mm-hmm.
She's got a giant, baggy, fucking billowy coat on. Bad fashion. This whole episode, except for Adam, bad fashion.
They do look like Eastern European grandmothers with their like knitted like. Yeah.
So she comes out, and the counselor is like, "Which one of you is the sister?" She points at Hannah. She's like, "Her." And like, as soon as she said that, I was like, "Is Hannah gonna do like a fake British accent?" Because I was hoping. That's what I thought. I was like, if she's supposed to be your sister, like she should have a British accent.
I didn't even think about the accent, the not having an accent sister part. Yeah. That would have been hilarious.
That's where my thoughts went when it was like, it's gonna be weird if Hannah doesn't have an accent and Jessa has an accent. So Hannah's like, all right, well, let's start filling out the paperwork. And the counselor lady's like, there's no paperwork. This is like you can come and go as you please kind of place. And
as most rehabs are. Most rehab isn't like you're locked in. It's not a legally binding thing.
Yeah. So unless it's like court ordered.
Even court ordered, you still have to go. You have to go, but like whatever the repercussions of not going, it's what happens. I don't think you're like, it's not like a mental asylum or something. Like if you were found guilty of like a crime, but like got off on mental case list, like if you get institutionalized. Yeah, it's not the same with rehab. Rehab's a self check-in, check-out situation usually. Yeah, 90% of the time, I would think.
So Hannah kind of gets a little like, oh, well, that's kind of fucked up that we had to come all the way here, but like, whatever. I guess we had to drive all the way here. It's fine. And then the counselor woman's like, no, you actually didn't have to drive all the way here. We offered to give her a ride to the airport, and she said no. She said that you were coming to get her. And then Hannah looks at Jessa like, what the fuck, dude? Like, there's an airport? And you made us come all the way here? And then Adam stands up, and he's like, what the fuck?
And just, like, walks out to the car.
Because Adam knew that she's a liar.
Yeah. My thing about this is, like, I think they were going to Woodstock, which is like upstate New York. I don't know exactly how far it is. It's not so far that you would need to stop off at a hotel on the way, I don't believe. But also, of course there's an airport.
Yeah. Like, you do no research about this
Google
place?
Exists. Like,
yeah.
How did you find out how to get there and not realize that she could probably take a bus or something?
Yeah.
She disappeared on it. Yeah. Anyway.
So they walk outside, and Hannah is giving Jessa a talking to. And I was like, fuck yeah, go, Hannah. Give her a talking to. She's like, you abandoned me at your dad's house. You left me. And Jessa's like, well, I like your haircut. And Hannah's like, well, thank you. I'm glad that you like it. But the only reason I had it is because I was going through a really rough time that you weren't there for. And I wish you were there for. And I wish you would stop lying to me about getting all this, like having to come and get you. And like you would leave me in college. You'd say, come to a Palestine party. And then I'd go. And then you'd be at the Israel house. Yeah. She's like, you got to fucking stop lying about this shit. Because I love you. And I'm really excited to have you back in my life. And like, I just want you to be around. And I was like, yeah, give her fucking yell at her some more. You need to yell at her. And then she just basically forgives her immediately. And I was like, this sucks.
Yeah. So that's what got me. It was like, she immediately like hugged her after like
she
all
just
of that.
forgave her.
And Jessa didn't show any retrition. She didn't show like she was sad at all. She didn't apologize like or do anything. It was just like Hannah just vented and then just hugged her, and it was fine. And I wrote down that Hannah's relationship with Jessa is similar to Marnie's or Charlie's relationship with Marnie, where it's just like she's spineless. Like Hannah's spineless when it comes to Jessa, the way Charlie's spineless when it comes to Marnie. And it's just like, what are you talking about? Like you need to just give her the cold shoulder, get in the car, and drive back in silence, like Adam likes. And like Jessa hates, and she will hate that you're not talking to her. You give her the silent treatment, it would, I don't know. She made you drive all the way up here to pick her up when you didn't have to after abandoning you. I'm sorry that Jessa doesn't like being alone and she feels sad sometimes, but like she can't drag you into this trouble.
Yeah, she can't treat people fucked up just because of her problems. Like, she's abusing her friendship with Hannah.
Yeah.
In like a very unhealthy way, and it's like it's not beneficial to keep enabling her by being like, okay, I forgive you, because this is exactly why Hannah's parents cut her off, because they kept enabling her, and now they're like, no, you need to fucking learn some shit. You need to be on your own on this. And Jessa needs to be on her own. She needs to learn a lesson, but she just doesn't learn lessons because either the guy that is trying to give her a lesson turns out to be a fucking asshole or like rapey, or like she abuses her friendships and the friends just immediately forgive her because it's like, oh, well, that's just Jessa. It's like, no, dude, you have to fucking be better.
Yeah.
And if you keep allowing that kind of behavior, it's going to keep happening.
Well, there was something that happened earlier in the episode when she goes like, oh my God, Hannah says, I hope Jessa realizes what we're doing for her, you know? And this is when Adam says, I don't know if we should take her out of rehab, but I thought Adam was going to say, you're not doing it for her, you're doing it for yourself. Yeah. I thought that's what he was going to say. That never gets brought up, but you have to think in some way. I don't know. It's just because Hannah was pissed when Jessa called. Jessa manipulated her, was like, I'm in rehab. And then Hannah felt bad. Then Hannah goes to visit her and realized she didn't have to make that drive. She didn't have to like pick up her life. Like they picked up the next day and just went. It seemed like everything stopped for Jessa. Yeah,
it's fucked up, and I didn't enjoy that part of the whole thing because it's like no one's learning anything here. And also, Jessa has the worst earrings on. Those enormous cross earrings are fucking offensively bad. They're so bad. Terrible fashion throughout this whole episode. Fucking awful. I can forgive a lot of things. Those earrings were awful. If a person showed up around me wearing those earrings, I would be like, go home and rethink your life. Those earrings are fucking horrible.
Fashionista Joe's Fashion Corner.
So dumb. And to think that she went to rehab with those earrings to be like, I'm going to wear these one of these days. You know, she packed those in a bag to go to rehab. What a fucking dimwit, dude. I fucking hate her. I fucking hate her.
You okay, Joe?
Dude, those earrings just push me over the edge, man. They suck. They're fucking awful.
All right, so the last scene of this show is they're driving Shoshanna's riding shotgun, Hannah and Jessa are in the back.
And
like Jessa's leaned over.
Yeah, I don't know.
Lean her head on the shoulder of where did they put that chair?
That's what I was about to ask. Where'd the rocking chair go?
I don't think it'll fit in the trunk of that sedan.
It wasn't allowing Hannah to express herself, but now she can cuddle with Jessa. Where did the rocking chair go? Continuity errors abound. The mustache, the chair.
That's not a continuity error.
Is it strapped to the roof?
I don't think it. They cut to a wide shot. I wasn't paying that hard of attention when they cut to the wide shot of it driving down the road to see if it was like strapped in the trunk or not. But whatever. Who cares? What we did learn is that the rocking chair is replaced by Jessa, and Jessa is the rock for Hannah. But no, Adam. This is where Adam becomes a human. You know? And he's like, "Hey, if you ever want to go to a meeting, let me know."
Yeah, let me know. And then Jessa kind of looks like, yeah, sure. Yeah. It's like, dude, this guy's being nice. He doesn't know you. And you just made him drive for fucking at least a day and a half.
Yeah, he's like, and now I'm going to have to like spend time. Where's she living? Holy crap. Is she going to live with them when she comes back? She doesn't have a place.
Dude, who knows? I
think she has to live with Shoshanna. But
again, this is an example of Adam being dementedly helpful.
Yeah. I mean, he's he's trying to be a good person there, and it's like, all right, Adam.
Yeah. And that's basically it. That's the episode.
We did
Unless
it.
I missed something.
No, I think that's it. I think that's it.
That's about it. Final thoughts on it?
Interesting. It was called Truth or Dare, and they didn't really go too hard into it, and I'm okay with it. I was okay with the flow of this episode. Yeah, I liked it.
Good episode. A lot of stuff going on. I liked it a lot, except for those earrings, as you probably know if you made it this far.
Oh, God.
Likability rankings.
I'm not gonna do it. We're not gonna do it today.
I'm gonna do it. Hannah number 1, Shoshanna number 2, Adam. Oh wait, no. Adam number 1.
Wait, Adam's getting into the likabilities now?
Yeah, Adam number 1, Hannah number 2, Shoshanna, and then Jessa.
No, Marnie goes above Shoshanna.
I didn't even include Marnie because she was such a non-factor in this episode.
No, yeah.
But yeah, okay, yeah. Marnie would go above Shoshanna.
Shoshanna was throwing some hurtful compliments, man.
Fucking heat.
Yeah.
And that's it. That does it for this episode. Thanks for listening. Rate and review and all that shit. Stay tuned for the next episode. Next episode title, She Said Okay. Who the fuck knows what that means? Not even going to venture a guess.
I think it's going to be Adam proposing to her.
Oh.
Yeah.
All right.
Because the comment, she said yes.
That's an interesting proposal. All right.
Yeah,
double entendre.
I'm batting 1,000 on these predictions, so we know this will come true.
Yeah, all of our predictions are always 100% right. Don't go back and listen to other episodes to hear our predictions.
If this is your first one, good luck. Just this is the first episode you listen to. Yeah.
Just take our word for it. All of our predictions are always right.
Yeah.
So thanks for listening, and that'll do it. Until next time, guys, we'll see you later.